From the Superdome to the Superdome, from huddles to muddles and fumbles to stumbles, get ready, football fans, because we're going to show you the kind of plays you never get to see on the NFL highlight films. And for those of you who may never have seen a football game before, trust me, there's more to it than this. But let's stop kidding around and kick off this tribute to our fearless men in the knee-length pants. Even those of you who take the game seriously ought to find something to cheer about. First, the basics. Each play starts simple enough. The quarterback yells hike and is handed the ball. After that, however, things don't always progress as smoothly. Once the ball is in play, the trick is to keep it moving, preferably in the same direction your team is facing. That's all you need to know for now. Eventually, we'll get to the part about actually scoring points. You see, football is a very complicated game. That's why they have so many officials following the game very closely. Sometimes the officials get closer to the action than they like. The kickers are the guys who put the foot in football. Sometimes they really put their foot in it. Every game has to start with a kickoff. Sometimes it ends with one as well. Hold it! Don't hit me, I'm just the kicker. Ah, who gives a damn? The kicker is considered a specialist. He must be highly trained. The guy who holds the ball can be any poor slob off the street. Kickers must be graceful, coordinated, and durable. Even with all these qualities, I guess they're not paid very well. This guy can't even afford a complete pair of shoes. It's hard to use your foot when you're all thumbs. Once they do get off the ground, there's nothing like seeing the ball sailing towards the goalposts and bouncing off. Even though the job requires just one thing, it's not easy being a kicker. It would be a lot easier if the ball would cooperate. One of the most exciting plays in football is the long forward pass. Of course, it's also the play that most often goes horribly wrong. That's because it requires a lot of details, pesky things to worry about, like timing, trajectory, not to mention gravity, wind velocity, ball rotation, running patterns, and a bunch of big, angry guys named Bubba. A good pass receiver is worth his weight in gold. Too bad so many have hands and feet of lead. And just because a guy makes a great catch once, doesn't mean he can do it every time. Just because you're sitting on the bench doesn't mean you can't contribute. These folks get more than a great view of the game. Sometimes they get directly involved. You can meet your favorite player up close and personal. Hey, I got his picture. You can also get an autograph and maybe a nice bruise too. These guys come eager to play ball. These guys may be a bit too eager. No matter how silly it may look to you, these fellas take this game deadly seriously. It's not just a question of pride. Sometimes it's a matter of money. Pity the poor owners of these teams. They spent millions of dollars and didn't even get a quarterback. Aside from the quarterbacks, the football field is filled with fullbacks, halfbacks, running backs, some major setbacks, a couple of drawbacks, and once in a while, a broken back. Ooh. Emotions are sizzling on the griddle iron. And even if you do make it to the end zone without getting tackled, you still have your teammates to contend with. The running back's job is simple in principle. Take the ball and run. Simple in principle, but difficult in execution. Wait for it. Probably the toughest part of the job is just hanging on to the ball. Phew! Another tough day at the office. The people you see doing this kind of stuff during halftime, believe it or not, this is their actual job. Some volunteer, Some do it as a means of picking up a little spare change. In any case, their purpose is to entertain the crowds. In reality, they let the crowds know that if you really have to go to the bathroom, go ahead. You're not missing all that much. With all the pushing, shoving, fighting, and kicking just to possess that funny-shaped ball, you'd think the darn thing was made out of gold rather than just a pig's bottom. Seems to me they could save everybody a lot of trouble if they just gave each team their own ball. But apparently, footballs are pretty scarce. Everybody seems to want the one the other guy has. And it's good to know that you really can't lose a football. If you drop it, don't worry. Someone else is bound to pick it up. And the football field is a nice place where friends can all meet. Looks like this pigskin was made from a greased pig. It's enough to make a coach beside himself with anger. Although everybody wants to get the football, it seems nobody wants to be caught holding it. That's because it's the job of the defense to make sure anybody holding the ball will go home holding their heads or their ribs. Some people claim defense players are inhuman. We have proof to the contrary. Here's the proud family of a defensive lineman. They've come to watch their relative play, and then they're all going off to vote in the upcoming election. I wonder who they're going to pick. Yes, defensive players are a cheery, happy-go-lucky bunch. They're just the kind of fellows you'd like to have on your side, but not on your chest or back. Even with all their training and discipline, in the heat of the big game, sometimes mistakes are made. Let's see if you can spot what's wrong in the following scenes. And you make the call. Illegal tackle. Illegal U-turn. Illegal parking. Too many players on the field. Pass interference. Offsides. Whoops. This poor player doesn't even know which direction he's supposed to run. Don't worry, I'm sure his coach will be telling him exactly where to go. Football is a rough sport. That's why players wear so many soft protective pads. Not only do they absorb the shock, they help to absorb the blood that might otherwise stain their uniforms. Here we see the makings of a rib sandwich. The game has a music all its own. Listen. And like a fine orchestra, each member plays their part to perfection. Except when musicians get the wind knocked out of them, they can take a breath easier. Practice makes perfect, but it helps to be in the right place at the right time. Or even the wrong place at the right time. Or any place, anytime. Step onto the football field and you are practically putting your life in your hands. Or your life in the hands of 11 guys much bigger than you. No doubt about it, these guys play for keeps. Even the mascots are out for blood. Okay, enough clever rhetoric. Let's see some action. Could you gals stop cheering long enough to pay attention to the game? When in doubt, drop back and punt. When you catch the punt, get rid of it as quickly as possible. Field goal attempt. Here's an easy 3 points. Not. Ever have just one of those seasons? The die-hard football fan will do a lot of strange things to ensure his team's victory. They're a superstitious bunch, afraid if they don't wear their lucky hat, bring their lucky banner, or perform their lucky dance, something awful will befall their beloved team. About the only thing they're not afraid of is looking like a complete idiot in public. Yeah, kid, I'm as bored of all this as you are. However, some fans occasionally do display a couple valid points. These fans are protesting the poor quality of the peanuts served in the stadium. And these fans are upset over the bathroom conditions. But aside from that, the most the average football fan is interested in is just good, clean fun. Well, it's pretty clean at any rate.